Okay, our learning intention today is still dealing with plot. Okay, how many parts of the plot are there? Yes, Lynn. 5. Okay, there's 5 parts of the plot, and they're up on the board. So you have your exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, resolution. If you want to go ahead and take a picture of this, you can. Okay, looking at those 5 parts, which part did I say it's easiest to find first? Good, the climax. Okay, so if you find the climax first, okay, that's your oh my gosh moment. You can't believe that happened. So knowing your climax, you'll know everything before the climax is your exposition, rising action. Everything after the climax will be your falling action, resolution. It'll keep the story in order. Okay? So the exposition is the background information, so the characters, the setting, and what happens first in the story. Okay, then you move on to your rising action. Okay, so since we know the climax, everything right here is going to be what leads up to that climax. What leads up to that problem or that issue. Okay, then you get the climax, then the falling action. How is the problem or conflict solved? Okay, how is it being fixed? And then the resolution, how things end up. Okay, how does the story end? Okay, and then every story we talked about should have some sort of a theme. Okay, not always, but it should. The lesson we should be learning that we can apply to our own life is the theme. So what I'm going to do, we're going to read one together. We're actually going to read a couple together. This is called Old Folks Home. Okay, or what we know as like a nursing home. Okay, do you guys know what a nursing home is? So it says a man was taking his old mother, or his elderly mother, to a home for old people. Okay, so where they would take care of her. He wanted her to have the best ones, so he was investigating many of them. So one day he came to a home, and the head of staff wanted to show him around. He asked his mother to sit and wait in the entrance, and the personnel was going to watch over her while he was gone. The old woman sat there for a while, and then she suddenly started to lean over to the left side. A nurse hurried up to her, moved her up, and placed a pillow at her left side. After a short little while, the old woman started to lean towards the right side. Of course, the little nurse hurried to her and put her up in position, putting another pillow at her right side. Okay, so the nurse thinks she's what? Perhaps sleeping, or she's falling over, right? Okay, and she keeps putting the pillows there so she doesn't fall over. Just a little while longer, and the mom now started to lean forward. She got propped up again by the nurse. Now the son came back from his inspection. He had found that this home was absolutely the best he had seen. All rooms were very nicely furnished, and there were skilled personnel for the old ones. The price was also acceptable, so he really thought that he had found the right place for his mom. Mom, he said, I really think you'll be happy here. What do you say? The mother said, I don't want to stay here. He was surprised and said, but Mom, this is just the way you like it. You'll be taken good care of here. The old lady said real firmly, I will not stay here. They don't allow me to fart. Okay, so do you get it? When she's leaning over, what's she trying to do? She's not sleeping, she's trying to fart. Okay, and she's upset because they won't let her because they keep putting pillows next to her. Okay, so let's kind of talk about the plot of this story. Okay, so if we're going to decide the climax, okay, what would be the climax of this story? So, do what? Okay, so like what was like the oh my gosh moment of this story? Okay, so you're saying that, okay, I would say that's more towards the end of the story. So you don't want to use that necessarily as your climax. Okay? I would go a little bit further when we think that you guys said that you thought she was falling asleep, right? Okay, so I would say when she starts leaning a lot, I would say that's more of your climax. Because we think that, you don't know. Is she falling asleep? Is she dead? Why is she leaning over? I thought she was about to fall over. Okay, that she just couldn't keep herself up. Okay, so I would say that is your climax. If we move back up to your exposition, you have to explain who the characters and setting are. So who are the characters and setting for this story?
A man and his mother.
Okay, good. A man and his mother. Okay, we have a man, his mother, and a nurse. Okay, so he's taking his mother to these nursing homes. Okay, these places for elderly people to live, where they'll take care of her, and he's kind of investigating. Okay, so that would be our exposition. So let me put that up on the board. Okay, so I said a gentleman is looking at nursing homes for his mother. Then we have to figure out what comes between that and his mom starting to fall over. Okay, and it's simply, he's there to do what?
See if the
You're right. To see if the place is what?
nice.
Yeah, nice and good enough for his mom, right? So the son leaves his mom there in the chair so he can walk around, see if the place is nice enough. Okay, then we have our climax. Okay, the mother keeps leaning in the chair and the nurse keeps propping her up with pillows. Okay, the falling action. The son comes back and wants his mother to live there. Okay, he's like, this place is perfect. It's everything that we want. The staff's nice. Everything he checked out seemed like it was probably good enough for it. Okay, that's our falling action. And then the resolution, how the story ends up, and this is so when I would say what you said earlier, was she doesn't want to stay there. Okay, because they won't let her pass gas. They won't let her park. Okay, so she does not want to stay there. Make sense? Okay, now, I want to show you, we didn't take the story out of order. Okay, that's why I say it's easy to find your climax, because then everything before that is up here, everything after the climax is down here. Okay, does that make it easier for you? It's always made it easier for me to find the climax. You don't have to do it that way. You don't have to find the climax first. I just think it's easier to do it that way. Okay, you can start with the exposition, rising action, then climax, then falling action, then resolution. Okay? All right, so go ahead and open your iPads. And I want you to open up to the assignment, How to Stay Married. Okay, How to Stay Married. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing. This is a short story just like this one was. And I want you to be thinking about what is the plot of this story. Okay, what is the plot, and perhaps does it have a theme with it? A man and a woman had been married for more than 60 years. They had shared everything. They kept no secrets from each other except that the little old woman had a shoebox in the top of her closet that she had cautioned her husband never to open or to ask her about. For all of these years, he had never thought about the box. But one day, the little old woman got very sick, and the doctor said that she would not recover. Okay, so if you were married for 60 years, okay, and your husband or wife told you not to look in a certain box, you think you would have tried sneaking a peek in 60 years? Maybe? Okay, well, he never did. Okay, he never looked in there for 60 years. In trying to sort out their affairs, the little old man took down the shoebox and took it to his wife's bedside. She agreed that it was time that he should know what was in the box. When he opened it, he found 2 crocheted dolls and a stack of money totaling $95,000. You guys know what crocheting is? You have any idea? Okay, so it's like sewing. Okay, you know, with like yarn, usually elderly people do it. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, so she would make her own dolls out of like yarn, and it said there's 2 of those in there, and then there's a stack of money for $95,000. He asked her about the contents. When we were to be married, she said, my grandmother told me the secret of a happy marriage was to never argue. She told me that if I ever got angry with you, I should just keep quiet and crochet a doll. Okay, so it sounds like, how many times did she get angry with him over 60 years? 2 times, because she only has 2 dolls, right? Okay, that's what it sounds like. So, does that seem possible to be married to somebody for 60 years and only be mad at him twice? Okay, it's a little far-fetched, right? It says, the little old man was so moved, he had to fight back tears. Only 2 precious dolls were in the box. She had only been angry with him 2 times in all of those years of living and loving. He almost burst with happiness. Honey, he said, that explains the doll. But what about all of this money? Where did it come from? Oh, that, she said, that's the money I made from selling the dolls. Okay, so did she only make 2? No. Okay, she made a lot more than 2, especially if she has $95,000 in there, right? All right. So what you're going to do, you're going to copy and paste those like we've been doing into documents, and then we're going to talk about your responses, okay?